And so the reason we wrote the book was to focus on the realities of managing today in a complex, interconnected world. You actually have to have leadership that impacts strategy. The strategy impacts organizational design. The organizational design is impacted by the leaders in the organization. All of those are actually co-evolutionary forces that come together.
But beyond that, we also wanted to really inspire young people to think of themselves as leaders. What does it really mean to be a leader in any domain? And it was the desire to bring together these ideas of leadership and business and do so in a way where they would learn compelling practical concepts that were brought alive with really powerful and enriching stories.
Students will benefit from reading the management textbook by gaining a holistic and global perspective on the practice of management. By focusing a lot on strategy in the early parts of the book, we want to broaden the student's perspective on the view of the context, the world, how it's evolving, how it's changing, and what does it take to operate in a dynamic world.
And the way we try to make it practical is, of course, we have tried to find and isolate concepts that are highly relevant to the students while they're students and also afterwards when they take jobs. But what we've also tried to do is a number of other things.
One of the key skills that we're hoping that students will walk away from this book is a sense of contextual intelligence. I need to understand what's going on in the context so that I can be a better manager. And that's really where strategy comes into practice. Understanding the competitive landscape, understanding the global workforce, understanding the labor markets, all of those factors have an influence on the way in which an organization operates its strategy.
The book has an explicit performance focus. Performance of individuals and performance of organizations. So we are unabashedly about trying to explain how some individuals perform much better than others and how some organizations do much better than others. So performance, when you study performance, that in and of itself naturally makes it a very practical topic.
From there, once you have this broader contextual sense, you can think about what is the best way we need to align our organization to be able to support the practices that we have put forward. That's where the organizational design components of the textbook come into play. And finally, at the end of the day, everything happens based on a team or a leader. And so the focus on individual leadership action with chapters on motivation, on influence, on networking, communication, all of those help to develop the skills that individuals are going to need to be able to lead in the 21st century.
We've also tried to take a more holistic approach in this book in that we bring concepts from different domains together into one integrated whole. So it's not a piecemeal undertaking. Yes, we have different modules, but we try to help the person see how these ideas are interconnected.
So how do they think about these problems? If we put them into a case study, and throughout the book there's a number of case studies that are included, how would they act if they were the protagonist? If they were a leader in this particular company, what would they do? Would they do the same things as the person in the case did, or would they do something different? And how would other students in the class react? So the instructor that's teaching this book can look at the case study methods as a way to bring a picture of the world forward.
And the powerful stories that we try to connect the students with will also create memorable content that will be practical and usable later in their careers.
Engaging today's students is more challenging than ever before. The attention span, the focus on detail, all of those things seem to be waning over time.
Students today expect a multimedia experience in the classroom. They want to learn not just from print media, but they also want to learn from videos, simulations, exercises, other multimedia experiences that allow them to truly engage with the content in a much richer way than ever before.
And so through the development of MindTap and other applications in the book, there's aspects of self-reflection exercises, there's a different view that's in each of the chapters, and so it looks at a particular concept in a slightly different way. So hopefully each of these aspects can capture the attention of the student.
The multimedia experience we try to deliver to our students is designed in a way to get the students to experience what is it like to be a manager. The intent here is to get them to walk in the shoes of the manager as best as we can. And through multimedia, multiple sets of media, we're able to get the students to actually experience, feel what it might be like to walk in the shoes of a manager and take on the challenges that they are likely to have to take on when they graduate.